Hey. I couldn't not wear this shirt today. There is no greater example of an ignited mind than this one. I considered scrapping my whole talk entirely and just nerding out about Prince for a while with you, because that has happened a lot. Here we are. He's taught me he was never a father himself. He had some tragedy around that, but he raised me as much as anyone did, and he's a part of this, so here you go. Your daddy was a good man, had a smile that weighed a ton. There was nothing in that man but life. It's all I'd hear from everyone. The time I should have been there to see the hero or the clown. But I don't know, seems like sometimes the best things in life are lost than found. My father was like something out of a Roald Dahl book. He literally wrestled alligators as a kid in Florida. Got these pictures of him with alligators and snakes, and he became a deep sea fisherman. Dessert in our house when I was really little was freshly fallen New England snow with honey. He had this old VW bus. He'd cut the roof off of it and welded the top of a bug on there as a kind of a sunroof. The back was just a big mattress and all his tools. Total death machine. He was all kinds of wild. My mom always thought that he was bipolar, medicating with alcohol. And in that old van, it kind of summed him up. One time, we were driving across the country. I was 2, my sister was 1. And cruise control in this bus was a cinder block on the accelerator pedal. And he got it in his head that he wanted to switch seats. He was tired of driving. He wanted my mom to drive. So doing 70 on some freeway, he got up out of the driver's seat and tried to have her get in it. And somewhere in there, we went off the road. And my mom says she can remember people saying, when they were looking at the crash, saying, "Oh, the mother's dead." But she'd only cut herself. And somehow, me and my sister and my dad, we were all untouched. So he had his demons. He had his craziness. And one time I got called in from recess in first grade. And there was my dad on the phone saying, "I'm going to Florida." And I said, "When are you coming back?" And that's all I really remember. And I went back outside to play. And he drifted into this place, this fictional character for me, all these stories and primal memories. And I was forever searching for what had happened. I used to draw a little thing called Detective Mouse when I was little. And I'm pretty convinced it was little me trying to sort out all the mysteries that were happening in my life, all these things I couldn't control, all this. And as I grew up, I would have waves of anger for him and these huge waves of love. We would speak on the phone when he'd be more together. And music helped me through. Music helped me figure out what I wanted to say to him when I couldn't figure it out myself. And to my Father I leave all of his life's hard-earned lessons. Live as long as you please, and please, let's be friends. My mom would sometimes say, you should go see him. I don't think he's doing so well. I think you should go see him. And I was really angry, and I didn't want to go see him just because it might be the end, just because I might not see him again. I was waiting for something. I was waiting for any one of his stories to come true about the car that he was fixing up to drive across the country from Florida to California. And slowly I realized that those moments weren't going to come with him. And in the autumn of '93, I was working on this song. I was convinced it was about him. And he always wrote, and he always called, and he never lied, 'cause he never said anything at all. The song didn't feel quite right. I didn't really know what I was singing about. And then I found out that I was going to be a father. And I realized the song was about that, was about how scared I was. That I was going to be the guy that always wrote and always called and never said anything at all. And in the summer of '94, on July 9th, I got a call in the morning that he had died in the county jail. They called it heart failure. And I've never heard a more appropriate use of that term. And then, about a month later, I turned 25. And 2 weeks later, my daughter was born. Me and her mom weren't together. We were so young. And I was in a rock and roll band. Things were just kind of taking off. We'd gotten our first deal. And here was this little daughter. And I didn't know what I was going to do. And when she'd get sad when I was going away on tour, she'd say, I know you got to go away for work. And I would say, I don't have to go away. I want to go away. I hate leaving you. I miss you so much when I'm gone. And I love this so much. And that's when I learned about the choices that seem opposing can actually strengthen each other. Because leaving her to go sing, I realized that I couldn't be a commercial. It couldn't be a career. It had to be something more than that if it was going to be worth being away from my daughter. And then when I was home and away from this music that I loved and with her, it helped me fill up those times, those moments. I was the dad at the track meets with the video camera, and I was, the only dad in the PTA with nail polish scraping off from the last tour. And all of a sudden, she was in 8th grade. And I was singing this at her graduation. Oh, my love, how can I say the things that you'll see some perfect way? See, I could tell stories of infinite roads, fountains of youth, romantic fables, but instead I'll just say it. You're gonna make every mistake. Sometimes you're gonna fall right flat on your face, so just do it with grace. Know that I'll be there and love you while you make every mistake. My sweetest of ones, you're growing up great. Wide open heart, excellent eyes. You're climbing and trying without even trying, without even knowing what I can't explain. Like, when did I get so scared of dying? It never seemed real, but we really leave here, and stranger still. I know it seems sad, but I'm trying to show you that something is here, something so sweet. And as she got older, I realized that I was singing that song to myself as much as I was singing it to her. Because there was no perfect way. I couldn't bring myself to write one of those everything's gonna be all right, little darling songs. But that day, watching her graduate, I just thought over and over again, I'm so glad I didn't miss this. And I felt so sad for my dad that he had missed it. And I didn't feel mad anymore. And I was so happy that while I was one of the top 10 weirdest dads in the world, it was going okay. And the fatherhood got clumsier. I'm talking a lot about choice and chance, and by chance I mean impossibly complex causal relationships that are so confusing and complex that we end up referring to them as chance. And choice, well, basically I think everyone in this room and this beautiful building and who's ever owned a guitar or had clothes on them, cars. I think the only thing for us is choice. I don't think there is any such thing as obligation. We don't have to do anything. There are levels of survival at which obligation becomes a more interesting subject. But at our level of privilege, certainly at mine, there's only choice. And that's one of the only things that I would keep bringing to her. And I discovered as she was growing up, I was getting more clumsy as a dad. And I thought, You know, when she was little, I'd hold her hand when we were crossing the street. Every time we were crossing the street, I'd hold her hand. That was the rule. And of course, now I don't hold her hands when we cross the street. But there was a time in between where if there were no cars around and we were on a country road out there somewhere, we'd be in the street and we wouldn't be holding hands. And if we were on a crowded street in the city, we would be. And that kind of became a metaphor for my fatherhood at that time. When to hold her hand, when to let her run. And then there she was, going off to college. And the future that she had always been, the choice that she'd always been, the chance that she'd always been, was blooming. And being here today, I just see so much future. And I think of her like I always do. So, I encourage you to enjoy the humility of chance, all the confusion, to take whatever brought you here, whatever sadness, whatever sweetness, and let it kind of tumble into the future. Because we can't control the past, of course. We can't control the future, though we try so hard. And the present, this little membrane that never really exists but always exists, I guess we've got some control there. So thank you for being here with me today, whatever has led to this. I'm going to do this talk, and then I'm going to go and sing a couple songs while a guy surprises his girlfriend by asking her to marry him, and my music gets to be part of that. And then I'm going to play a house show near here. If anyone wants to go, talk to Brick. And as the little bio said, there's been all sorts of things. I've raised my daughter doing this. It's the only job I've ever had. So when I sing this to her, I'm singing it to you just as much. To everyone that's been my dad and my daughter. I think we all raise each other. I remember being kind of sad as she was getting ready to leave for school, and I had just finished this song. You taught me to surrender. You fought me in all the best ways. Thank you for all the love and light. See, I can't dream it better. I know it's time to let you go. Stay beautiful and bright, 'cause you're what went right. You're what went right. You're what went right. What went right. You're what went right. My name is Jonah. Thank you very much. Have a beautiful life. Thanks to everyone that put this together.